Hello there, my name is Esther and welcome back to CyberSafety 101 for our 5th lesson. I'm so excited you're here to learn about a few ways you can keep your account safe. So without further ado, first I'm going to be talking about strong passwords as they are crucial in keeping your accounts secure. A strong password is a password that is difficult for a person or machine to guess. Use a mix of uppercase letters, lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols to make your passwords harder to crack, because doing so broadens the pool of possible characters found in your password. For example, if you only use lowercase letters in the password, there are only 26 characters that could possibly be in it. On the other hand, if you use a mix of uppercase letters, lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols, there are well over 100 characters that the hacker would have to try for every single character in your password. Passwords should always have at least 8 or more characters, but it's preferred that they contain 12 or more because with each character, passwords get harder and harder to crack. For example, a password with only 6 characters can take hours to solve, but a password with 12 can take several years. You can think about it in terms of playing cards. The chances of drawing a spade out of a standard deck with 52 cards is 1/4. The chances of drawing 2 spades in a row is 1/16, or 1/4 times 1/4. The chances of drawing 3 spades in a row is 1 out of 256, and so on and so forth. As you can see, it gets significantly harder to choose a correct card, in this case a spade, out of the deck with each successive card you draw. The same goes for password characters. The more characters there are, the harder it will be for the cybercriminal to guess the correct combination. With passwords, however, the correct characters are much less straightforward, and instead of just 52 characters to choose from, there are over 100 when including numbers, symbols, and uppercase letters. You should also avoid using number, letter, and keyboard sequences like 5, 6, 7, 8, or WXYZ, or QWERTY, because they are easy to guess. Hackers sometimes use a method called password spraying, which involves entering the most commonly used passwords, which tend to be sequences, into hundreds of accounts, and hoping that some of them will go through. If you don't want to be one of those people, I suggest following this rule. Personal information is best left out of passwords as well. Birthdays, anniversaries, and other important dates are commonly used as passwords, as are names, addresses, and phone numbers, at least in part. I remember that as a 2nd grader, I wanted to crack the passcode on my mom's iPad. Unsurprisingly, personal information was the first thing I tried entering, and I actually managed to get in after a few tries. Unfortunately, it's not just 2nd grade me that knew that trick, criminals do as well. So it's best to play it safe and not use personal information in your passwords. Oh yes, and don't use passwords like password because, well, I think you get the point. Another rule of thumb is to use different passwords for all of your accounts, or at least all of your important ones such as your bank accounts, medical records, and credit card accounts. If you're like me and you have close to 1 million of them, all of those passwords will probably be very hard to remember. Fortunately, a password manager can help you with this difficult task. If you're worried about somebody breaking into your passwords, know that that's highly unlikely because good password managers encrypt your data and require a password or some other security device to decrypt them. Even if a cybercriminal managed to hack your password manager, they wouldn't be able to view your passcodes because they wouldn't be able to decrypt them. Some password manager choices include Keeper, Dashlane, LastPass, Bitwarden, and Password Boss. The website shown on the screen will give you a lot more information on these password managers, so I recommend visiting. Although password managers are safe to use, it is not recommended to let your browser remember passwords for you, no matter how convenient it may be. If you do this, anyone who has access to your device will be able to automatically log into any of your accounts. Creepy, right? Choose a password that means something to you and only you. This could be a meaningful phrase, quote, song, you name it, as long as it follows the guidelines I just discussed. You can also use a password base and then modify it slightly for each of your accounts. Here's one example. Say the password base is CyberSafety 808. Notice how it is longer than 12 characters, isn't a commonly used password, and is made up of symbols, capital letters, lowercase letters, and numbers. For each account, the user would tack on a string of numbers or letters related to that website onto the end of that base. These extra characters could be the date the website was created, the number of letters the company's name has, or anything else, really. Let's pretend that the user is creating an account for Facebook. For the password, they would take the base CyberSafety 808 and add something onto it. Let's use the last 3 letters of Facebook, O, O, and K, and stick it onto the end of CyberSafety 808. That right there is a password that would take a hacker or machine years to decipher. Okay, that's enough about passwords for now. Let's learn about some of the other ways you can keep your accounts free of crime. Two-factor authentication, also known as multi-factor authentication, refers to the use of more than one type of verification to access an account. An example of two-factor authentication is when a user enters a passcode into a website and receives a one-time code through email or text if they enter it correctly. The user would then enter that code into the website to gain access to their account. The two methods of authentication in this example were 1, the password, and 2, the one-time code. Pairing biometrics like a facial ID with a passcode would also be considered two-factor authentication. The reason why two-factor authentication is much safer than using a single passcode is because it provides yet another obstacle to keep criminals from getting into your accounts. This significantly decreases the chances that they will gain access to your account because they won't be able to enter just by guessing or stealing a password. Most accounts don't need to be protected by two-factor authentication, but very important ones, such as your medical records and bank accounts, should be secured using two-factor authentication to ensure the safety of you, your money, and your confidential information. The process for setting up two-factor authentication is slightly different across the many websites out there, so if you need help, I recommend doing a search on how to set up two-factor authentication for the specific service you're using. Next up, terms and conditions. Yes, I know they're boring and that most of us don't read them thoroughly, but experts recommend at least skimming them to make sure that you aren't letting the app, website, or company have access to something that they shouldn't need to. Checking your privacy settings can help you do this as well. Having secure privacy settings will keep others from tracking you, your history, your location, and more, and will also help you stay more anonymous online. Today I'll be talking about Google account privacy settings, but I've included the direct links to the privacy settings for several commonly used applications such as Zoom, Spotify, YouTube, and Amazon on our website. Whether you like it or not, Google can track you everywhere you go, online and in real life. They can have access to your emails through Gmail, your photos through Google Photos, your browsing history through Google Chrome, and even your personal documents through Google Drive. Personal information such as your name, gender, phone number, and birthday may be known and used by Google as well. Yikes. Luckily, there is a way to delete this information. First, go to your Google account page at myaccount.google.com/profile. Then click on Personal Info. On this page, you can delete or change your photo, birthday, name, gender, password, or other emails and phone number to be more anonymous. If you scroll to the bottom and click on About Me, you can see what parts of your profile are visible to the public. Next to each piece of information is either a people icon, meaning that it's visible to the public, an office building icon, meaning that it can be seen by your organization, or a lock icon, meaning that it's private. To change the visibility status of a certain piece of data, select it and change the toggle at the bottom. Don't want Google to keep a log of everything you do? If so, you're on luck. Turn off and/or delete your web and app activity, location history, and YouTube history. Follow these steps. Sign into your Google account and select Data Personalization. Scroll down to the Activity Controls and choose Web and App Activity. Here's where Google keeps its record of all your interactions with Google services. Switch the toggle to Off if you would like Google to stop tracking your activity. Note that this will prevent Google Assistant devices from functioning properly. If you only want Google to stop tracking your history and activities, uncheck the first box. If you only want Google to stop saving audio recordings from Google Assistant, uncheck the second box. Next, if you want Google to automatically delete such data, select Auto Delete. Here, you'll have the option to set it to automatically delete data older than 3 months, 18 months, or 36 months. Select whichever option you prefer. Click Next, and then Got It. Here, I've chosen to automatically delete any web and app activity older than 3 months, so any data older than 3 months that I previously had was just removed. To delete more of your web and app activity, select Manage Activity. To delete items day by day, select the trash icon to the right of that day. Choose Got It. You can also select the Delete button that can be found on the right-hand side below the search bar to delete specific activity as well. A pop-up should appear with the options Last Hour, Last Day, All Time, and Custom Range. Select your choice and that's it. You did it. For location history, sign into your Google account and select Data Personalization. 2. Scroll down to Activity Controls and then click on Location History. 3. To stop Google from tracking your location, switch the toggle to Off. 4. If you want Google to automatically delete your location history, select Auto Delete. Here, you'll have the option to set it to automatically delete data older than 3 months, 18 months, or 36 months. And just like with the web and app activity, select whichever option you prefer. Click Next, and then Got It. Click Manage Activity. On this page, you'll be able to see all of the location info that Google has collected about you. To permanently delete all of your location history, select the trash can icon in the bottom right-hand corner. A pop-up should appear saying, "This information will be deleted from your Google account, and neither you nor Google will be able to access it again." Google Now and other apps that use your location history may stop working properly. If this sounds okay with you, check the box "I understand and want to delete all location history" and click Delete Location History. YouTube history. First, sign into your Google account and select Data Personalization once again. Go down to Activity Controls and then click on YouTube History. To prevent Google from tracking your YouTube history, turn off the toggle. If you want to keep Google from recording just your searches or just the videos you watch, select the box next to your choice. If you want Google to automatically delete your YouTube history, select Auto Delete. Here, you'll have the option to set it to automatically delete data older than 3 months, 18 months, or 36 months. Select whichever option you prefer. Click Next and then Got It. To delete specific YouTube history, select Manage Activity. To delete a specific day, select the trash can to the right of that day. You can also select the Delete button that can be found on the right-hand side below the search bar to delete specific activity as well. A pop-up should appear with the options last hour, last day, all time, and custom range. Select your preferred choice. Lastly, keep a running tally of your accounts. This may seem tedious, but it will help you to remember what accounts you have so you can delete the ones that are not being used. To delete an account, go to the website that the account is for and sign in if needed. Then find your account settings. They may be found in your profile or somewhere else. Unfortunately, I can't say exactly where you will be able to find it because its location differs from website to website. Once in your account settings, you should be able to find somewhere you can delete your account. Why would you want to delete your unused accounts? Well, the more companies that have access to your personal information, the more likely it is your information will be stolen, mainly because there's simply more places to find it. As you may have guessed, I'm going to end today's lesson by quickly summarizing the tips that will help you keep your accounts safe. 1. Passwords should ideally have 12 or more characters. 2. Use a mix of uppercase letters, lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols in your passwords. 3. Avoid using number, letter, and keyboard sequences or personal information as passwords. 4. Use different passwords for all of your accounts. If you find them hard to remember, utilize a password manager. 5. Don't let your browser save your passwords. 6. Choose a password that means something to you and only you. 7. Use two-factor authentication whenever possible. 8. Scan the terms and conditions rather than immediately accepting them. 9. Use secure account settings. And 10. Keep track of your accounts. Alright, that's it for today. I hope you learned a bit more about protecting your accounts so that you can more successfully avert any breaches and hacks from occurring. The quiz for today's lesson can be found here